Councilwoman Mazer.
Here.
Councilwoman DeArminio.
Here.
Councilman Accomando.
Here.
Council President Camilleri.
Here. Please rise for a salute to the flag. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members on July 28, 2016, and to all legal newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by same may and have in the past sought legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not for the council.
Okay, I'd just like to turn it over to the mayor.
Thank you, Council President. Tonight, we have with us Scott Santoro, who is the coach of the 5th and 6th grade rec softball champions. There was a 3-town league, Saddlebrook, Fairlawn, and Elmwood Park, and there was a championship tournament, and our girls, our 5th and 6th grade girls, won that championship. So I'm going to call Scott up here right now just to explain what had happened. Oh, okay.
Most of you know Diane Bonner ran softball forever, and this year Eric Torvik took over, and Eric and myself decided we were going to try something new, and we got Elmwood Park and Fairlawn together. We created a league, and we decided we were going to add playoffs back to the recreation part of softball, and we were lucky enough this year for one of our 5th and 6th grade teams, the team that I managed, and Mike Sobolski, who's not here tonight, was my assistant coach. We were able to win the 5th and 6th grade championship this year. So I'm going to bring the 4 girls up that are here because of vacations and cheerleading and so on and so forth. We only have 4 girls, so come on up and I'll introduce you girls when you get up here. Come on. Okay. You want to introduce yourself? You got to say nice and loud. Everybody go down the line.
I'm Gabriel Santoro. Nicola Jewel, Gianna Bogdanovich, Kathy Cruz.
These girls played all over the field for us. Kylie and Gabby pitched a little bit too for us, and our championship game against Fairlawn, we went 9 innings, and we won in a walk-off 8-7, I think was the final score. So it was a long game, went back and forth. We couldn't break the tie. We were tied, and we went up, they came back, tied again. We went on for more innings. It was a hard-fought game, and we were able to pull it out on top. So I appreciate the council and the mayor having us come in tonight. Okay, thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott. I will have
Congratulations.
certificates for all the members of the team, okay, that I will distribute at a later date.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
At this time, I want to turn it over to Chief Robert Kugler, who's going to give us an update on our 300th anniversary.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor Robert White, all our Township Council representatives, and a shout out to our former mayor, Lou D'Arminio, and our 2 former councilmen, Anthony Halco and Omar Rodriguez. And to the most important person in the room, our tax assessor, Arthur Carlson. You need to remain friendly with the tax assessor, no doubt about it. Well, good evening, everyone, and I'm here, and I want to thank the mayor for giving me this opportunity to just give a small briefing about the 300th anniversary and our committee and the activities that we've been doing and planning and have set aside for the rest of the year. First of all, if you look over, I guess, on the back wall there, these banners, these Saddlebrook banners, were sponsored by local businesses, individuals, and they're placed throughout the township. Proud to say that we mounted 125 of these banners There's an additional 5 banners coming, so total about 130 of these banners hanging all throughout the community of Saddlebrook, and we appreciate the businesses and the local individuals who sponsored them. Our goal is to take these banners down before the severe winter comes and present them to each and every individual and or business that sponsored one for them to hang in their appropriate place, whether it be their place of business or other place that they would like to see it hang. These posters that you see behind me and on the other wall were done from our school system. Right before the school let out in June, we got together with the representatives of the Saddlebrook High School and Middle School, and we wanted to get the school involved, which gets the young children of our community involved with knowing about the history of Saddlebrook. And I'm happy to see that they're hanging today. I think they just got hung tonight. And I want to thank those representatives who did what they did to highlight our history of Saddlebrook, and it ranges all the way from 1716 all to the present time. I want to take this opportunity to thank the school system and the young students who did that. I can tell you that in June we had a little gathering at the VFW, which turned into a great affair. It was a pizza party celebration in honor of our 300th anniversary. We had nearly 150 people there. We had entertainment, and it was a great time. I want to thank each and every one of those who attended, and especially 7-Eleven, who sponsored the giveaway glass commemorative that we gave out to each and every one who came. Upcoming activities include, and this is a big one, this is going to be our Township picnic, and it's going to be held August 27th. It's the last Saturday here in August. It'll start at 12 noon, run to about 5 o'clock. And right before the start of the picnic, early in the morning, if you wish, there is a mayor's walk. Mayor White has got a contributor from the township who sponsored this walk. So the first 100 people who would like to sign up and be there at 9 a.m. to walk around the lake, you'll get a commemorative T-shirt commemorating this walk, this healthy walk, and that'll officially kick off the picnic day. But I want to give a shout out to Councilwoman Flo Meza and Councilwoman Karen Dominio, who basically had the subcommittee to arrange everything that's going to happen on August 27th. And not to talk too much about it because I'm not too particular about the specifics, but it's residents only. It's you're going to have to register. We ask you to register before time. I think there's 3 sites: the Saddlebrook Senior Center, the Saddlebrook Library, and here at the Municipal Building. So if you come in, and if you are a resident, you're going to get this booklet or coupon booklet, which is going to enable you to get food and refreshments at the picnic. And if you don't register before time, you come down to the picnic, obviously, and do the same. But we would like you to pre-register. We'd like to get an idea who's coming, how many ticket booklets we need to have prepared. But there's going to be rides, there's going to be games. It's going to be a fun day, and this is Saddlebrook's annual picnic, and from here on in, hopefully the town of Saddlebrook will have a bigger and better picnic each and every year. But I want to maybe defer now at this time to maybe talk about a little bit about the specifics about the picnic and what has been done and what maybe is coming to either Flo or Karen to just expand upon what I just said.
Well, we're going to have 3 food trucks, and as the chief said, you have to pre-register. When you register, you're going to get a ticket that looks like this, and these will be perforated so you could rip them off. Clyde's Lemon Ice, there's a taco truck, a hot dog, and a slider. Each ticket will be for each specific food item. There'll also be free pizza, there'll be snow cones, cotton candy, popcorn,
Face painter.
I'm sorry? Cake table, yes, I'm losing it. A DJ, a 40-foot obstacle course, a trackless train ride for the children, and then at 3 o'clock there will be a live band. And there will be registration tables at the park that day. But as the chief said, if you could pre-register and get your tickets, it would be a good idea.
I'd like to add that we'd like to thank all the contributors. I mean, it's such a great turnout is because of all of the people who have donated, whether they're organizations in town or businesses in town or private individuals. it has been an awesome turnout, and we, you know, monetarily, we appreciate it very much. We hope to have a great day.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Yes, it is a big task to do a picnic like this for the whole town, as you could imagine. We have literally hundreds, if not, into the thousands that may come that day. And as you know, a lot of the food and a lot of the resources or money that it takes to produce this food and to have these games cost money. And I want to thank each and every individual and business that may have contributed. I know a letter went out from the township, and like always, the businesses that always contribute are the same businesses that keep contributing and making Saddlebrook a great community. So shout out to all the businesses and local people who donated, and obviously our mayor and council who support and do a lot of things to make sure that the residents have a great day that day. The last thing on our agenda maybe for the 300th anniversary is a gala, concluding gala. We're not quite sure what the date is right now, but we're thinking somewhere in the area after Thanksgiving and somewhere around the New Year. So it could be after that. We know our anniversary date is in March. So it's likely that this event, if there is one that's going to be settled on, will be probably in the area of December, January, February, and even as late as March. But more information will come to follow on that event. And we want to thank, once again, all the businesses, representatives that helped us throughout this 300th anniversary committee. And I want to thank Mayor White for giving me the opportunity to serve on the committee, and all the committee members that assist us in what we do each and every day to make sure this is a pleasant thing for the community and to commemorate 300 years going strong, our community of Saddlebrook. Mayor, is there anything that I left out?
Tricentennial Park,
I'm sorry.
Tricentennial Park,
I'm sorry.
the
Okay,
property
great.
there on Platt and Saddle
Okay.
Road.
Yes, we did talk about this project. Saddlebrook wants to dedicate a place in town, and we want to call it the Tricentennial Park. And we've eyeballed or identified a location on the corner of Saddle River Road and Platt Avenue, almost right on the Route 80. As you know, there was a couple homes there that got demolished, so Route 80 could be expanded. And on that location, we want to have a Tricentennial Park. It's in the plans, it's in the works. We want to have park benches, we want to have pavers that people can sponsor a paver with their loved one, their name, their business, whatever. We want to have a big monument, and we're going to even put a time capsule in there. Last meeting we had just Monday or Tuesday, we talked about this time capsule being opened 100 years later. So basically, we're never going to be here 100 years later, so we're not going to really care when they all assemble. But maybe we're going to reduce that to maybe 50 years, so if someone is younger, when they open it, that same person who put items in it is the same person that's going to be announcing, 50 years later that here we are and we're opening it. So more, I guess, information to follow on both of those things, both the Tricentennial Park and the gala to come. And once again, thanks for the opportunity and allowing me to be part of this great committee for the town of Saddlebrook. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chief. I'd like to entertain a motion now to open the public meeting to the public.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazur?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio?
Yes.
Councilman Arcimondo?
Yes.
Council President Camilleri?
Yes, the meeting is now open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward, state your name and address.
Good evening, everyone. Emil Sudol, on Van Loon Terrace, 412 Van Loon Terrace, Saddlebrook. I have a couple of issues that I wanted to bring to your attention tonight. First one, I've been attending a number of these meetings in the past, and I've been bringing up this issue that the township has with flooding on Fifth Street. And I don't know if you know or not, it flooded again the last few days ago. This has been an ongoing nasty problem, and I just would like to know if there's anything at all that could be done to remedy this. I know the last township engineer was working on some sort of plan to help eliminate this problem, but I really don't know what happened or where it's at. I understand that the pipeline that runs under Route 46 has been cleaned out, and apparently there's a brook that runs along the railroad tracks that had to be cleaned out, and I understand, I think, Mr. Ladico, you had something to do with getting a crew in there to get that cleaned out recently?
Not yet, it's in the works.
It is in the works.
Bergen County mosquito.
Is there any way that we can get maybe like somebody like the Passaic Valley Sewage Commission involved? You know, with help? I mean, they have equipment, they have the trucks.
Probably answer your question better.
You know what, Emil, the engineer is here, and we are getting into the final phase of finally getting all that water to go under Route 46, out to where it's supposed to go. If our engineer could answer your question for you, Tom?
That'd be great.
Yes, thank you. The issue of the water, the storm line that runs from Fifth Street, it goes down the property line towards, there's an auto body shop or something.
It's behind all the businesses, correct?
Correct, and then it cuts across the block company to Route 46.
Correct.
The area under under Route 46 was cleaned by the DOT. We put out for bids to clean the pipe from Fifth Street around the bend to that vault. We had some issues with pricing. We got some pricing that was a little over the budget. We went out to bid for that twice. Once you do that, you're allowed to negotiate. We negotiated down another, I believe it was $20,000 off the price of the lowest bid.
This is through a private contractor?
Yes, it was a public bid.
Can we get the Passaic Valley Sewage Commission involved? I mean, these people clean up rivers and streams, and, I mean, this is what they do.
If it was a sanitary sewer that they did, that they owned, they would do it. Other than that, it's an expensive process. I mean,
Yeah, that's why I kind of recommended it, if we can get Passaic Valley Sewage Commission involved. You know, once again, I say, they have the manpower, they got the tools, the machines, they have everything. They clean the Passaic River, they do the Saddle River, they do all this stuff. And I just can't see why we can't get them involved. And, you know, instead of running out to a contractor to have them do this, is that at all possible?
I think that if Passaic County had that capacity, they'd be doing it. I mean.
I don't even know if they know about it. Do they at least even know about
Everybody
it?
knows that Passaic, that the sewer
That
commission
Fifth
has
Street
that.
floods every time it rains?
Well, what I'm saying is, there's a lot of pipe, and if every town starts tapping Passaic Valley to clean them, there just simply isn't enough manpower there.
No, I know, well, it's fine, I think this thing ends in the Dannards Lake. That's where all of this
Yes.
ends in Garfield. Where it goes from there is, I don't know. Anyway, I just, you know, I hope that something could be done about this, because this has been a long time problem, and it's nasty. It's, the other thing I wanted to bring up is Caldwell Avenue, again. This has been a thorn to a lot of people, and I don't know, I just feel that this project has been railroaded through by the past administration. There were many, many, many taxpayers against this, and this thing was kind of like forced down our throats. We spent an awful lot of money, and I think we got whoever the property owner is off the hook from trying to unload that piece of property. Here it is sitting there years now with nothing happening, nothing at all. And I'm sure we're losing tens of thousands of dollars in tax revenue that we're no longer collecting. And there's nothing in sight, no plans, nothing is happening. And this is just going on and on and on, month after month. And this was a really bad decision. That's the way I feel about it, and I'm not alone. I think that even this property should probably even be sold. Some sort of deadline should be placed on this with the county. If they can't come up with the funds to build the building, let's move on. Use it for something else. Put a new fire department there. Give a new home to the ambulance corps. I mean, it looks like they're working out of a tent over here. I think there's other uses for that, other than having the county. I mean, Mr. Samaluka, you said that this would benefit the taxpayers and the residents of Saddlebrook. It's not true. This is a county project. They would be open to every county. I mean, everyone in the county of Bergen, not just Saddlebrook residents. So I really can't see, I don't know, this whole decision I feel was a bad thing to do, and I really feel that we should put a deadline on this thing and move on. Finally, this tax increase that is proposed or coming out soon. From what I understand, this has been caused from the commercial tax appeals, and I feel this is ridiculous. Why don't we budget for this kind of stuff? I don't understand why we know these appeals are something that just didn't take a month or two. This has been going on for years. Obviously, you knew that we were going to lose and having to pay back these companies. Why can't we budget for it? Why can't you put money aside for it instead of putting this on the backs of the taxpayers? I mean, what's going to happen with the next appeal? Is this the same thing, another increase? We're going to get hammered again? I don't know. I don't know. To me, it's fiscal mismanagement. You're just not doing the right thing here. Finally, the last thing, then I leave. Mosquitoes. Do they still have a mosquito commission or anything around town or county, or anyone know of?
Bergen County. Bergen County Mosquito Commission.
I don't know. Everyone's talking and kind of scared about the Zika thing that's kind of like going around, and now it's in Florida, and there's a chance of it migrating up north. And I just don't know if there's any kind of preparation or anything that the township should be looking into, possibly in the future, for taking care of this kind of problem. It's just something I just wanted to bring up, you know.
Good, Chair.
I don't know, like I said, if there was even a mosquito commission in the township, you're saying it's just the county, but
Good, Chair.
this could be a possible major problem down
We
there.
have already contacted the county mosquito commission. There are certain areas they're coming in to spray, and they do most of the towns, if not all, in Bergen County.
Okay.
But they do have a schedule, and they will be in Saddlebrook in the future.
All right, I appreciate your time, and if there's anything, like I said, this flooding issue, it's been an ongoing, if there's anything that we could do to get the ball rolling and just eliminate this problem once and for all, it's a real pain. Thanks again.
Just, I have a question, because usually when there's a lot of rain, I end up calling. I didn't call this weekend, but I call Pete and say, hey, did we have any problems? I didn't hear about that. What area was it contained to, and how long was it there for?
From Hillside to Victor.
Okay. Tom, were you aware of this?
And usually after that, it's both ends of Victor, and then it turns into Kern, sometimes, going up even Van Leeuwen and Kern to Hillside,
And how
depending
long-
on the amount of rain. Sometimes it's there for a short amount of time. I mean, water does, it recedes quickly.
But this time, how long was it there?
Pretty quickly. I'm not sure as far as how many hours it was out there, but I've personally experienced the issue of raw sewage coming up through the pipes into the floodwaters, which is really nasty. I really feel sorry for those homeowners that are in that area there.
Thanks.
Thanks again for your time.
Thank you, Ann.
Larry Tychek, 92 Claremont Ave. I'm going to speak here tonight not as a Democrat, not as a Republican, but an unsatisfied resident. The increase in the taxes that we received is totally uncalled for. Just to bring something about Emil, that building's been sitting for 5 years. It was $850,000, and we lose approximately $80,000 a year. So you do the math, it's $1.2 million that we're in the hole for. I mean, the increase is 5.5%. If you look at anybody's taxes in town, it's 5.5% that our taxes went up. I mean, like Emil said, it's poor planning on your people's part here. What actually is going on, and what is the problem? Can anybody answer me?
Commercial tax appeals.
But like he says, they've been sitting there for years. We got to plan for this stuff. We don't plan for anything.
But you could never figure
We
out
do.
what a building's gonna sell for either, Larry.
Yeah, but how long have they been sitting? Years. I mean, Joe, you know, they've been there 5, 6 years. They've been sitting there. Okay? And it's not right. I also said 2 years ago or 4 years ago, whatever, the people that voted for the 0% increase. You got it. You voted. I said, Simaluka, I'd be back. Ms. Mazer, I said I'd be back. And Mr. Camilleri, I said I'd be back. Camilleri, you voted no for it.
Correct.
The other two voted yes. So we got 0%. So what did we get this year now? How many percent did we get? Isn't there a 2% cap on certain items? I mean, we just, we do whatever we want. We write our own paychecks, we write our own, we're giving the store away. I mean, you have to understand that the economy hasn't been good in the last 5 to 7 years, and we're still giving raises out. How about a freeze? How about a freeze? Freeze the wages. I mean, we just keep giving it away, and eventually, we're not gonna be able to live here. That's what's gonna happen. We're not gonna be able to live here. I mean, and it's not good for the seniors, it's not good for the young people coming in. See how many houses are in foreclosure, and see how many houses are for sale. And see how many people are underwater. I mean, it's astronomical, and it's not getting any better. And by raising the taxes like this, you're not attracting any new people to come into the town. I mean, we didn't get any new services. What did we do? We got to start cutting things. We don't cut anything. We just keep hitting the resident. Eventually, that's what the residents do: for sale sign or walk away. And it's you people up here that manage our money. You get our tax dollars. Now you got to make it work. You just can't keep adding on and adding on and adding on. Also, the contract that we signed with the appraisal company. Are we getting a reevaluation or a reassessment? What are we getting?
Larry, the company's actually here. And
I'm not, you guys voted on it. You guys,
A
forget about
reassessment.
these guys here.
A reassessment, a rolling reassessment.
Okay, but we were told that it was a reevaluation. A reevaluation costs.
I want to address one question, Larry, if I
Go
can.
ahead.
As far as us, and I could speak for myself, and I could pretty much speak for the whole council and the mayor, we didn't excessively spend anywhere, Larry. The tax increase came directly from the commercial tax appeals.
Okay, but that's still poor planning now. It's still poor planning. Louis, if it's funny for you, you can
Not
leave.
through, really?
There's nothing for you to laugh
They're going
at.
to banter?
I'm talking to you. If it's
You're gonna
funny,
banter? That's
if it's
not
funny,
allowed.
leave.
Larry, I just tried to answer your one question, that's all. You.
Okay, but all right, we're
You made
asking.
a broad statement that we
Okay.
overspend, we overgive.
What I'm
raises.
saying, have we made any cuts anywhere? Anywhere? Have we cut anything? Or froze anything? Put it this way, have we froze anything?
None that I know.
No? Are other towns around us doing that?
I think other towns around us are all in the same boat.
Same
Larry.
boat. And what they're doing is cutting things and freezing wages and stuff like that. I mean, you have to have some kind of answer for the people when they get their tax bill now. I mean, you're
Correct,
gonna be,
yeah,
so what is the answer gonna be?
Well,
Commercial
hopefully-
real estate, and what's gonna happen next
No,
year?
hopefully what we put into play is one of the reasons why, so we could be proactive instead of reactive with these big commercial appeals. And that's one of the things we all agreed on that would help us keep in check the commercial appeals that are killing us.
But we can't keep going this way. We can't keep, I said it 4 years ago, and I'm saying it again. We can't keep going this way. We have to proact, not react. We're reacting now.
That's what we're doing now.
Right.
This plan is.
Well, whatever. I hope it works. Believe me, I hope it works, for our sake. I hope it works.
Larry, I'm a resident here too. Trust
I
me
know.
when I tell you, I hope it works. as well.
Okay, we'll get off of that topic, maybe we'll get an answer for it later on. The other thing is, there was an editorial in the Record about the town of Dumont, and we just had an incident in our town here with a police department member retiring. There's no doubt they're entitled to that money. That was their contract, that was their wages, that was their deal. But going forward now, any new hires, I mean, we can't afford to pay a guy for a sick day that he made $100 for, that he's gonna retire at $800. We can't just afford to do that. So we need to look at things like that, where they can't cash out with $250,000 go-away packages, because if 3 guys retire, we're in trouble. Go ahead, Todd.
Through the chair, the state already put caps on most departments. So when you leave, you can't get that. big-
I know, but in the editorial, it says that the council gave the excuse for that it was a contract and it's the state. It's a municipality that sets the rules in the contract. So any new hires, like I said, we can't, the guys that have it now, that's fine for them. That's their going away package. They're entitled to that. You can't take something away from them. But we should look to,
Christie took it away from me.
huh?
Christie took it away from me.
Well, like I
So
said,
it's
we
not
didn't
just
we
on
didn't take it
fires.
away
It
yet, though.
depends on the department.
We didn't take it away. It depends on the department and the town. So we should really look into that and any new hires. I mean, start doing stuff like that. The private sector is doing that. You can't carry these astronomical amount of days over, 410 days, 310 days. We can't afford it. I mean, it happened in Rutherford a couple years ago where they had to bond money. They had 3 guys retire at the same time. Didn't have it. Didn't have it. You're looking at $700,000, $800,000. We don't have that laying around. And like I say, also in our budget this year, we depleted our surplus, right? Did we?
Yes.
Yes. So that needs to be replaced next year also. So what are we looking at next year now down the road? That's why I'm saying. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're going to run out of Peters. There's not enough Peters in the world. Okay? And that's what we're doing here. We're just shuffling money, shuffling funds, doing all kind of, like 3-card Monte tricks. And it's not working. It's not working. Believe me, it's not working. Like I say, when the people get their tax bills, like I say, the phone's going to be off the hook. And it's the end result of poor management. It's poor management. I mean, like I say, you took the surplus out this year. We're down to 0. Okay? Now what do we do? What are we going to do? Wait till next year to replenish it? It's not good business practice. It's not good. It's not good. And yet, like I say, I don't know what we're doing up here. I don't know what we're doing. I hope you have answers when the rest of the residents come in, and ask and call the town hall and call the tax assessor. Now, that's the other thing, why the tax assessor's here today. I'm a little confused on how we have our tax assessor working for us. I know Mr. Carlson works full-time for Hackensack. That should be a 40-hour week, correct? Or 35, whatever?
He can't address it.
Whatever, okay, I'll just ask. Well, normally, a normal full week is 35 or 40 hours. He also works part-time for 3 other towns, Saddlebrook, Richfield, or Richfield Park, and Edgewater, that he just went back into. When does he work for us, and when can we meet him? Because I had somebody try to reach out to him 2 days ago, and then he wound up calling you, Pete, and he's not available.
No one called.
Somebody called and you returned a call back to somebody.
Someone called about taxes.
Right, that was the person that I reached out to try to help me. But, when is he available, or when does he work for us, and what do we pay him, and, what are his hours of operation? I mean, is he ever in town during the day? Like a normal day that a resident can speak to him? You people don't even know. You have employees working for you, and you don't even know what his hours are.
Or you could correct me if I'm wrong, but your hours for years go back as a
Tuesdays, 4:30 to 6:30, Thursday, 6:30 to 8 o'clock, Saturday by appointment, if you want to see me. Lunchtime, I can run over, if there's somebody, an emergency wants to see me, in Hackensack, I can run over here. Never a problem.
Well, I'm just going to tell you that
I'm always there, and I think inspections when I'm not there.
for the past couple of weeks, I've gone there, and
I've never seen you.
I just gone there, and it's not there. And also, we have a problem, we had a problem with the zoning secretary. She doesn't want to be in the building alone. So if Mr. Carlson was there, she wouldn't be in the building alone, and we wouldn't have a problem with Jane staying late, but she does not want to stay in the building alone. So that tells me that there's nobody in the building.
So what I'll do is I'll call you and check with you to make sure.
Well, you might, I don't know, but I'm just telling you.
You can on the way out.
Okay, but I'm just saying that was the message that was sent to me, and it was sent to the mayor, that there's nobody in the building, and she feels unsafe being in the building. So, obviously, there's nobody in the
You
building.
know what though, Larry, honestly, it's like he said, she said, I mean, she's
But
saying
I'm just
something
telling
to
you,
you're saying
listen,
something
the
to us.
equation doesn't work.
Well,
If someone wants to see the tax
questions we
assessor,
can answer
Huh?
are, the questions directly that we could answer,
Right.
is you wanted to know his hours. His hours was just explained.
but it would be more, I'm saying it would be better for the residents to have someone here during the daytime, instead of,
Is-
There is somebody there covering the office.
that's the tax, she doesn't work,
That's
right.
Pat's there.
Pat, right, Pat Brantner.
She's there, and she's in contact with me all the time.
And you can't get, I think we'd be better served, and a lot of our problems are with the taxes, if we had a tax assessor in-house, and we knew it and could be easily approached, not by appointment only, or not by phone call, where he's gonna run and meet you during his lunchtime. It's not working. Obviously, it's not working.
That would cost a lot of money. I mean, that would
Right. Well, like I said,
I'm
we,
just saying, one state taxes, it
Right.
will cost a lot of money.
but I'm just saying, things like that don't work. Last month, I didn't make the meeting, I came to the work session, and I asked Mr. Lodica for some ordinances. I'd pick them up the next day. You know, it's like pulling teeth trying to get something out of here. I called you the next day, Joe, and I discussed it with you, what he gave me, which was absolutely nothing. Okay, he knew what I was looking for, and everybody up there knew what I was looking for. He gave me the ordinance that says absolutely nothing. It says absolutely nothing. The three things, A, B, and C, say absolutely nothing. To me, they mean absolutely nothing. They're not, there's no answers to the questions there. Then when I asked him for more, he photocopied like 2 pages out of the ordinance. That also says absolutely nothing. So I don't know where you guys are getting these ordinances or these laws from that entitle people to certain things, because it doesn't say it in the ordinance.
What specifically?
What specifically?
Are you,
When I asked about the ex-mayor's years of service and who was entitled to the health care benefits? No, not you, Karen Chamberlain. You know, it doesn't say anything there. And I mean, we spend time rewriting these ordinances so they would solve a problem, but yet you have to be a Philadelphia lawyer to interpret them. And I mean, they don't say anything. There's no person in there that's recommended to or saying. It says, the only thing it says is all full-time employees are entitled to X, Y, Z. Like I say, the mayor's part-time, the council is part-time. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, where does it say that? We went all through this 5 years ago and rewrote the ordinance. I mean, you want me to pull it out? I know Pete last week, or last month, I told him to call timeout and go get it in his office, but he waited to give it to me. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't have any meaning to it. Do you want me to read it? What it says?
if you want to read it?
But I'm saying, did you ever read it?
Yeah, I did.
And how do you interpret it?
But I don't know what you're looking for. If you're looking for years, I didn't.
No. It specifically says the years, 25. Okay, but it says who's entitled to it. All full-time employees. That's what it says, full-time employees. And it specifically says that. So you people are saying that you fall under the white collar. It doesn't mention anything in there.
Can you be more specific, Larry? What do you mean you use people? Like
The
union
council,
itself?
say they fall under that thing, that they want to be covered under that thing.
I'm not covered.
I
and
know
I'm
that,
happy
I
about
know
it.
that, I know that.
I'm fine with it. I'm speaking for myself, and
But I'm saying, how do we interpret that? Or who interprets it, put it that way? Mr. Suarez?
No, the only thing I was gonna say is, this is, and we discussed this in executive session right now, open litigation with the former mayor.
Right.
So I just don't want anyone here saying too much with regard to interpretation, and they're gonna be, and we've gotten notice now, possibly going to depositions, there's discovery.
But the
going on.
only
I
thing,
just
like
don't
I
want the
say, is
township
why
to
did we spend so much time and energy the last time when we argued over it for years that Pete couldn't find it? Now we have one, and it says absolutely nothing. It still leaves the ends both open over who's covered and who's not covered. It doesn't specifically say in that ordinance, which I'm going to read to you now because, like I say, you're looking at me like I have two heads, but I'm going to read it. Now, this was the real estate one where I'm looking for the one that says reevaluation. All it says is reassessment, reassessment, reassessment. Let's see. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll read, this is how Pete sent it to me. Gave me a half a sheet on this paper here. I don't know whether he didn't want me to read the rest of it, or there was more to it, or it was
You didn't
cut
ask
off.
for, you want the whole white-collar contract?
Well,
I'd be happy to
Pete,
make
I
copies.
mean, look
You
what
had
you-
it already.
Okay.
You've asked for it.
Okay, it
before.
says all full-time employees hired prior to January 1st, 2012, with 20 years of service for the township who retire at age 55 shall retain their health benefits coverage. Employees hired after January 1st, 2012 with 25 years' service with the township who retired age 55 shall retain their health benefits. What does that mean? Explain it to me.
You just read it, Larry.
I know, I read it. It says full-time employees,
Okay.
okay, hired after a certain date need 20 years of service.
Okay.
After a certain date, they need 25 years of service. Why couldn't you write the ordinance or specifically say council people will be covered? It says full-time employees, specifically says it right there. Full-time. What does full-time mean? Full-time. I mean, Howie's a bus driver. He works 30 hours. He don't get benefits. He's not full-time. And he's a township employee. Yes or no?
I guess you're right, yes.
Okay, so I mean, how do we,
But where are you going with it?
where am I going? I'm just saying, who is entitled to benefits and who's not?
I can speak for myself, and that's what I will do. I'm not, and I'm not, you know?
I really don't want to have the council president or the members of the council start talking about interpretation with regard to this. I mean, I'm looking now at the township code with regard to, you know, what presently the code says. Some of you may not have been on the council at the time some of these laws were passed. And the other thing is that there have been so many changes that have occurred on the state level with regard to what is deemed and is not deemed to be a full-time official. You know, after a certain point, I don't remember the specific year, I know former Governor Corzine and then Governor Christie changed things so that, you know, elected officials would or wouldn't be covered. So I think that in terms of interpretation, I don't know if that's a good idea, being that there is a litigation hanging over us at this point in time. I understand, you know, he wants answers to the questions. There's, right now, under section 41-1 and 41-2 in the township code, it does say exactly what the laws are right now.
But I mean, we just redid this. Why couldn't we make it clear? We argued over it for years. We argued and argued and argued. Why couldn't we just put it in black and white here instead of leaving it gray? We left it for more arguing now. That's what we did. We left it for arguing. The other thing, we'll get off of that. If you want to answer me later, you can answer me, is Mr. Simaluka, I think you're 8 years too late asking the engineer for bi-weekly reports. We should have been on top of the other engineer. I think this guy's doing a great job getting our projects done, and it was the other thing that we had a problem with. And, you know what I mean? I think you're 8 years too late. This guy, I'd say, we don't have to watch like we had to watch the other one. This guy is, and his company is doing a good job. Other than that, like I said, I would just like an answer on the, on that ordinance and how you guys interpret it or who is entitled to what. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none, I'd entertain.
Good evening, everyone. Lou DiArminio, former mayor of this great township of Saddlebrook, contrary to what some political gadflies say at this podium. I'm very proud to be part of the 300th anniversary of this community. Being a mayor is a coveted elected position, and I want to take this opportunity to say, Mayor and this council, you've done a great job over the last 2 years you've been in office. Mayor, congratulations, and council, congratulations on a job well done for the National Night Out. It was glad, and it was so wonderful to be part of that and to see that back here in our community. Now, the easiest thing for me to do is to get up here and criticize. The hardest thing to do is for you guys to lead. Having sat in every one of those seats, I know how difficult it is to lead this township. And you guys have done a great job, each and every one of you. You got people that'll come up here that'll try and embarrass you about health care benefits and take this away and take that away. But it's very difficult to lead a community. It's what we are all about. You guys are all part of this. You guys are part of this community. You guys lead this community, and you're doing a good job. You know, back in '96, when Flo Mazer and myself ran for political office, you know, we didn't look at what we can take from the town or get from the town, whether or not we'll get health care benefits or a paycheck. All we cared about is what we wanted to put into the township and give the township. I know Ms. Mazur at some point in time over the last 20 years has probably gave about 48 scholarships, I think, over her period of time. 48 scholarships to residents for kids in this community. That is amazing to me. And we've had our political differences, and we can agree to disagree. But we don't have to get up to this podium every month, doom and gloom, and get the gotcha questions or get the animosity that certain people have and personal animosities they have against individuals. Mr. Simaluka, back in '96, he didn't ask what he can take from this township. He gave to this township and his legal ability to this community. Mr. Camilleri ran for political office, as did Mr. D'Arminio and Mr. Accomando, not for any benefits. They knew they weren't going to get benefits. It wasn't about benefits. It's about doing what we can do for our community. And maybe if the residents who get up at this podium month after month looked at what the positive is in this township, we'll become a better township. So easy to criticize. You have one individual that comes up here, Mr. Ratajczak, as he said, he don't like the taxes. He complained when it was zero taxes. You got zero taxes. You got to raise taxes, he's on record saying. Now when the taxes get raised, they're complaining. We're all going to complain about taxes, and we're all going to complain. It's a matter of getting together and making this township good. This is what we need to do in this township. And it starts here at the podium. It starts here with the residents that come here each and every day. I want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for your time and the efforts that you put into this community. Chief Kugler is here. I want to take the opportunity to thank him and all the first responders who did the National Night Out. Let's come together as a community. Again, it's easy to criticize, but it's very, very difficult to lead. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you, Okay, anyone else wishing?
Good evening, everyone. Omar Rodriguez, 275 Madison Avenue, 8 years as councilman, 4 times council president. My predecessor right here just did a verbal political brochure. Since I'm one of the candidates running in November, I'm forced, Council President, I think that I have the floor. It should be some kind of respect.
Do you have questions, Omar? I mean,
Are you trying to, I'm just saying, if I have the floor, if I'm going to engage the public, I will do that, then you will not might like it. I'm talking to the residents right now, I'm talking to the council, with all respect. I'm not going to engage the public in the auditorium. Therefore, since I'm a candidate running in November, I just want to assure the residents of Saddlebrook that by coming to this podium, it's not being negative. It's just exercising our freedom of speech, our rights, and to ask the questions that you as leaders should have before you vote in every single one of your decisions. It's not to find out later on after that decisions has been made, and I believe, and I'm proud of the town where I live, that I've been serving for so many years in every single capacity. However, I'm not going to stay down or stay away just because by speaking here I'm going to be called negative. No. It's actually a way to educate the public, and the public at home got the right to know where the taxes are going. I wasn't prepared today to ask any specific questions, but by what I just heard tonight, I'm just going piggyback on some of those issues. Depending on the block in Saddlebrook, some residents will be receiving in the mail some tax increases, depending on the block, from $1,200 to $1,500. Some others from $650 to $850. The question is, if that is the pattern, and I heard tonight.
Omar, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
You already threw out all these figures, and where'd you get them from? You threw out figures that people's taxes are gonna increase.
It depends. It depends on the assessment value of a home.
Absolutely.
Then let me go back to this. As council president, can you tell me what is the tax levy? Council president?
I'm asking,
Since you're asking, I'm going to teach you how to come out to the figure. Even though that should not be the point. I'm just trying to close with this, just in this particular case about taxes. And I want the public at home to make sure, just because we are going to hire a reassessment company, which I got nothing against them, I just want them to understand, and I've just been hearing that the taxes are going because of commercial tax appeals. That is not the case. That is not the case, and that's another misnomer. Back when I was here, the last meeting, I heard right here one of the council members saying that this company will go into the businesses. And I keep on arguing that that is not the case, and the people are here, and they can correct me if I'm wrong. Business and industrial areas will be done with a Chapter 91, which is an income and expense method, which is totally different than homes. Now, for those at home, if you're gonna do a kitchen or a living room, what's gonna happen is that you will not, the town will not wait for next year to kick in to increase your taxes. As soon as they get the permit and they get the CO, the new tax value will go into the system and they will start paying right away. That is the difference. But the residents are not, and that's what I want to close, and I want to emphasize this, that taxpayers, the residential taxpayers are not the problem. We've been losing our shirts with commercial and industrial. What are we going to do? What is the plan? What is the business plan for the future? That is what the question should be about. This system is not going to lower our taxes.
it'll keep them in check.
But it doesn't mean that it's gonna come down. The commercial might is a big question mark, might just have a fewer appeals. But it just take one large appeal for one of the largest land developers in town. And again, we, the homeowners, will have to end up paying the bills. So please, let's try to tell the public, and this is not about being negative, we're working together, we're part of the same community, we're gonna do better, but then in the meantime, what are the measures that we are taking in order to stop the bleeding? That is the question that the council have to do. Their main function are the taxes.
Can we answer that?
Go ahead.
What we're doing is being proactive instead of reactive, and we all voted unanimously. We all voted together on this plan to keep the commercial accounts in check, put the football in our hands, and it will help the residents because the residents aren't gonna get the burden. If we could just not settle one commercial account, Omar, we're gonna save millions. And that won't be passed on to the homeowners.
Council President.
With this process that we're putting into place.
Council President, once again,
And you
it's just a wishful thinking.
Wish?
And we're gonna be here 5 years later, and I can assure you, I'll be here, and I will be coming back after that contract expires. And I can tell you that commercial appeals are not going to stop.
They're not gonna stop.
They're not going to
We're
stop.
not gonna have them in check? Because I'm gonna come and
One-
pick you up
One
if
thing,
it does work.
if you let me finish, one thing is you just keep on saying that's proactive. That is not the solution for taxes. That is just a way on how to have a system actually be in check every single year, 25% of the homes. Then again, like I explained the last time, now you're gonna see the inspectors most likely go into your house more often than ever, but that's a different situation. Now, the solution for this should be, are we okay on giving pay raises of $10,000, $15,000? Are we okay on keep on increasing the pay?
Is there a question?
We just right here.
Well, because, I'm sorry, through the chair. I'm sorry, you're just pontificating. I don't know what you're trying to say. I really don't.
Through the chair. Can you tell me what is the tax rate for this year, please?
The tax rate for
Yes.
this year, my blood pressure's up, or else I would know it right off the top of my head.
That should be our ABC of every single council member.
The tax rate.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because every single taxpayer tonight, they're gonna learn how to take the taxes and how much it went up or it's gonna go up.
I can't find it. I have it written.
All right, I'm gonna skip that because I don't wanna hold it. I just wanna close with this. To the taxpayers,
Well, I have an answer.
you're just gonna have to do multiply,
Omar,
multiply,
you want
yes.
your question answered? I have an answer for your tax rate.
Hmm.
Do you want the answer to that? Okay, 2.865.
All right. We were just told that the new tax rate, with these new increases, for you to compare the taxes from one year to the other and how much it went up, you will just have to multiply the assessment on your property value that is gonna be inside the square and multiply that by 0.02865. That number will be your yearly total taxes for the year, and you will just compare that with your last year taxes, which comes in a postcard, and you will see whether your taxes went up $800, $1,200, or $2,000. And I want to just close with this, because it's not about being negative or not. You as leaders, all of you, including me, I guess, when you determine that this is the best way, the best course for Saddlebrook residents, that you have done your best, I want to propose you something. That if any of the elected officials appeal their taxes, they should, in a public meeting, raise their hand and say that they appealing the taxes and the reason why. Even though that is not illegal, I believe that is hypocrite. Because if you are telling all the residents in Saddlebrook, this is the best I did, this is what you have to pay, we tie our belts, we told the employees to tie their belts, now it's time to tie yours, and everybody says, well, if that person is saying that, then I'll pay that. But guess what? They appeal this tax rate, and elected officials are appealing the taxes in the county. That's not fair. You should live with it. If that's the best that is for Saddlebrook, they should lead by example, and if they're gonna appeal the taxes, they should have to have the courage to come to the council meeting and say that they appeal the taxes, because that will tell us that that was not the right decision. Thank you all for listening. Have a good night.
Thank you, Omar. I just still have a few questions for yourself, but, I mean, you're making some pretty big accusations on council members up here. You're throwing things out there to the general public that we're appealing our taxes.
Your names?
I'm talking, Omar. And to protect myself, I mean, because that's what you do, you come up here and you throw things at me, and I will protect myself. I'm not appealing my taxes, Omar. Okay? So you paint with a very wide brush when you speak. You coming back to the podium?
No, which is with all respect.
You are, you're at the
No,
podium.
just to let you know, the reason why I'm not mentioning names is because of respect. But it's public information. And again, I'm not going to do that, but then it's up to every single council member to say it, then if they wish to. Otherwise, they just keep it quiet.
Thank you, Omar. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Anthony Halco, 297 East Lanza Court, Saddlebrook. I just have a question. The Cordwell Ave property, that was purchased with COA money, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and that did not come out of the taxpayer's pocket. It came out of the COA fund that builders paid when they decided to build, and the builder's remedy.
That's correct. Yes.
So the taxpayers are not on the hook for that. The property on LeGregney Street, the other old nursing home, that was purchased by a nonprofit, I believe. Is that correct?
I believe
It
so.
was a purchase by,
Okay, so a nonprofit, they don't pay taxes either. Is that
in this
correct?
case, they're still paying taxes. They might
Do you know the
file
rate that they're
paperwork.
paying? Because it was said that they were losing $80,000 a year in taxes.
Don't know what they're paying.
Do you know the rate that Cordwell Ave was paying before the township purchased the property?
I know there was a tax appeal, but I don't remember what. The
So they
final-
also appealed their taxes.
They had appeal.
A lot of businesses appeal taxes. Is that correct? I mean, it's in your best interest, if you're paying millions of dollars and the value of your property has decreased drastically, the way the economy is, the way the country is, that you are going to appeal your taxes. If you're paying $20 million in taxes and your building is now worth $10 million, there's a $10 million difference. You're going to appeal your taxes. You have to. You'd be foolish if you didn't. And just because you're an elected official, if you're paying more than your fair share of taxes for your home, you have every right to appeal your taxes. How could you not appeal your taxes? It makes sense. Every resident and homeowner, business owner has a right to appeal their taxes. If you feel you're not paying if you feel you're paying more than your fair share, you have a right to appeal your taxes. And nobody should belittle you for that. It's your right. It's your right as a United States citizen, as a resident of Saddlebrook. You have that right. And just because you're an elected official, you're held to a higher standard for taxes. Everybody pays their fair share. You're required to. And I just wish you guys the best of luck. You're doing a good job. And with the reassessments, I mean, you have to do that. You have to, and you have to maintain that year after year after year, because to eliminate these high tax appeals, I mean, you just can't afford it. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Anyone else wishing to speak? No one? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Councilwoman DiArminio?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Camilleri?
Yes. We're gonna move into mayor and council comments. Mayor, would you like to speak?
Yes, thank you, Council President.
All right, welcome.
I just want to briefly mention some things that were said by the public up at the podium. Emil, regarding the flooding on Fifth Street, that is being worked on, as the engineer said, Tom. That should be, we just signed the contract, so that pipe should be cleaned out. Hopefully, that will alleviate a lot of the problems. The senior center, we've been on top of them, the county. We can differ on whether or not that was the right move. That wasn't my administration. I've said it many times. I agree with it. I think this town needs senior housing. And I do believe now that they're not going for funding at the federal level, any grants to pay for it, with the exception of the COA money, the COA units, Saddlebrook residents will get preference on those other units, the non-COA units. So we believe that it will be mostly Saddlebrook people that are going to be occupying that senior housing. The tax increase, look, Omar mentioned about making cuts. We talked about the tax appeals, commercial tax appeals. If those commercial tax appeals were not there, if we were not, and we're taking care of and resolving quite a few of them. It's a bad year. Look, none of us up here want to burden the taxpayers, but it had to be done. Some of them have been, they date back to 2011, so they weren't taken care of. I'm not looking to blame any previous administration, but you know what? There was, Mr. Ratajczyk, there was a 0% increase that one year. It was 2 years ago. And maybe more should have been looked at when it came to those commercial tax appeals then. Maybe they should have been addressed. But you want to know something? I can tell you this. I don't put the blame on these council members here either, because they don't always know everything either that's going on. So, and that's the truth, because, things are, you're professionals, you deal with them every day, there's decisions that are made. Some of the decisions really do fall squarely on the mayor. So with that being said, you can take that whatever way you want it. But if we didn't have these tax appeals, we would have, we would have a 0% tax increase on the municipal side without the tax appeals. Now, it's easy to run around and say, well, you know what, let's make cuts. You know what, and former Mayor Darminio said it, you know what, we're here to lead. And it's, you know, it's easy for people to say, let's make cuts. Well, who are you gonna cut? You know what I mean, who are you gonna cut? And what is it gonna affect when you make that cut? You know what, really, and then you're gonna, with the police, we're gonna cut police? You know, they're our first line of protection. They're out there every day to, you know, to really keep us safe. I mean, that's important, right? So we don't want to cut police. So, you know, we can get into this, or let's look at the building department. We got so many complaints lately. Oh, you know, property maintenance, nobody's looking at that. Well, you know what, if you were to cut that person, you would have no one doing property maintenance. So, you know, it's easy to say. It's easy to say, yeah, we're gonna make cuts, but it's very difficult to make that decision. I think that's all I have from the podium. Let me just go into my regular notes here. The tax bills will be mailed out next week, and there will be some people that are unhappy. The total increase on the municipal side is $169.74 on a house appraised at $295,000. On the school side, the tax impact for that same $295,000 is $188. The majority of the increase, as I said it before, and I'm going to say it again, is because of the commercial tax appeals, which require immediate action to address and resolve. And that's one of the other things I wanted to say. Look, we are trying to do our best. We're being proactive with these commercial tax appeals. It will, I believe, and the council believes, that this will alleviate a lot of the commercial tax appeals. And if we continue to manage the budget properly, I think we're not going to have big increases. This year, look, this year we had a 0% increase. Nothing else went up. So we managed to do it, we can do it next year. I'm not saying it's going to be 0, because I think we should raise it a little bit incrementally. I think that's, as our auditor had said, that's the proper way to do it. Property owners will all receive a letter from me with their taxes explaining the current state of the budget and the reason for the increase. Let me go into some meetings. The Mayor's Youth Group meeting, we had a meeting Saturday, July 12th. We discussed a lot of things. What we did was we had a bowling pizza party for them at Parkway Lanes on July the 26th. Really, we did it to show appreciation. This group is wonderful. They get involved and volunteer for all the projects and activities that we have in the community. They participated in National Night Out, which we brought back, and really was a fantastic event. It was a beautiful night, weather-wise. We had a great turnout, and it was just really, it did my heart a lot of good to see how people responded. And really, the biggest reason we have this event is to show appreciation for our first responders, for our police, our fire, our ambulance. And, you know, the volunteer fire department and ambulance corps, they're volunteers. You know what, they do this day in, day out for no pay. And you know what, I said it at the National Night Out, I really do believe that we're second to none. All the towns around us, I think we have the best volunteer fire department and ambulance corps, hands down. But anyway, getting back to the youth group, they created posters for National Night Out where many of the children that were there stamped their handprint on big, large posters. And the posters said thank you to the police, the fire, and the ambulance corps. And they were presented with those posters at National Night Out at the end of the night. And they did it to thank all of those groups and individuals, because they protect us, the citizens of Saddlebrook, every day. And you know what? That idea didn't come from me. I'd like to take credit for it. It came from one of the youngest members of the group. She's in the 6th grade. She sees what's going on all over the country, especially with the police, how there's turmoil. And she said to me at one of our meetings, said, you know what, I think we should do something to recognize the police. and, you know, the fire and the ambulance corps, because they really do a great job for us. So here's a sixth grader that said that, and, you know, I'm proud, I'm very proud of that group. They also signed up at National Night Out, a couple of new members, which was good. I had a meeting along with other mayors with Congressman Bill Pasquarello on Wednesday, July the 20th. And it was a nice meeting. The congressman was a former mayor of Patterson, so he likes to get together with the mayors and business administrators in his congressional district. So we discussed a variety of topics, including the police and fire grants that are available, roads and bridges, the New Jersey Trust Fund, Transportation Trust Fund, we spoke about that, flooding issues. So we spoke about a lot of things, and it was good. It was good because we talked, and he does listen. He goes down to Washington, D.C., and tries his best to do what he can for us at the local level. We spoke a little bit about National Night Out. I think I covered most of it. You know, again, it's meant to increase awareness about the police public safety programs. It was a great opportunity for the community to get together, to show support. I want to thank all the sponsors, especially the local Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, the Mayor's Youth Group again, CASA, which is Citizens Against Substance Abuse. Also, I want a big shout out to Sarah Malonek. I think I'm pronouncing it right. It's a difficult last name, but Sarah started this with the assistance of my office and the council, this Blue Ribbon campaign. So she handed out with her own money. She went out and got ribbon and made up these blue ribbons, and asked the public to take them and display them on their door in support of law enforcement. Also, the community school was there, and many law enforcement and emergency services agencies were there. Now, we have the Township 300th Anniversary Picnic, and the chief spoke about that earlier for those who were here. Also, Councilwoman Darminio spoke about it too. It's going to be a fun-filled day. Really looking forward to it. In the morning, we have this walk, Mayor's Walk at 9 a.m. It was sponsored by Ferraro Spine and Rehab. It's 4 times around the lake, so it's not too difficult for most people. I've been working out, so I think I can do it. First 100 participants get a T-shirt, and it promotes exercise, wellness, so it's going to be a good thing. But at the picnic, it's going to be great food, entertainment, DJ, bands, lots of games, activities for the children. Open to Saddlebrook residents only, admission's free. And as was said before, we can register at the Town Hall, Library, Senior Center. So please come and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know it's going to be a great event. And again, thank you to Councilwoman Flo Mazer and Karen Darminio, Councilwoman Darminio, doing a tremendous job. A lot of work. So I thank you. Believe me, I don't need any extra work. So also my secretary's been involved, Christine Generario, and Pete, as the business administrator, has been a lot of help. And thank you to the sponsors. I can't believe the amount of support we're getting from the community on this 300th picnic. Something new that we just, the chief and I met with St. Philip's Church. They want to have a community 9/11 ceremony on Sunday, September 11th, from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. It's going to be like a memorial processional and observance to mark the 15th anniversary of the 9/11 day, the incident that occurred on September 11th, 15 years ago. We're going to process from Saddlebrook High School, the parking lot, and walk to St. Philip's. And then once at St. Philip's, there's going to be a blessing. There's going to be a special keynote speaker, a flag retirement ceremony. The Saddlebrook Band is going to be there, the church choirs, a few choirs. There's going to be live music and food vendors there. This idea, came from Father Theismas, and he wants it to be more of a community event than a church event, and we're excited to enter into that with him. Some other things, community rating system, which we've spoke about a couple times here before. We've contacted the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which is FEMA, advising them of our interest to participate in this community rating system. Business Administrator Peter Ladico is our community rating system coordinator. Basically, we're getting assistance from the Bergen County OEM, which is Office of Emergency Management, and their shared services. What it is we're participating in this program. It's taking part in floodplain management activities that exceed the normal standards, and it's a way of trying to reduce and mitigate flooding. But if we get involved in this and we do certain things, some of them, the most basic thing is just community awareness. Insurance premium rates for residents that are in the flood area will be lowered. 10% just for the community awareness aspect of it, but it can go all the way up to 40%, which is difficult to achieve, but this is a start. We want to try to help our residents to alleviate, some of the burden that it's going sky high. Flood insurance is very, very high for those residents that are in that area. And lastly, I just want to mention a signboard. Many of you might have saw the frame that's up on the front lawn of Town Hall. Tomorrow, they're going to deliver the actual signboards and attach it to the frame. It's a beautiful sign, full color, fully color. It's just a beautiful sign. Both sides, two-sided. It could be, you can put two different things on each side or the same thing on each side. So it's a way to communicate more with the public. You're not going to be able to miss it. And you know what? We want to make sure, that's one of the things with this administration and this council, we're really trying to do our best to communicate and be open and transparent to the public. And we do everything we can through social media, website, Facebook, community news. We have Matt Millsop here. We stay in contact with him, as well as the Daily Voice. Every kind of media outlet that's there, we try to give them the information, put it out there. Our town TV, we put everything there too as well. So I think it's a good thing to keep everybody informed. So thank you.
Thank you, man. Todd, you want to be up? I'm good. Okay,
No, wait till the end.
you good?
I'm good.
Wow, that leaves me. I'm ready to go. First thing is, I want to talk about a few positive things. And the Saddlebrook Little League, the 13 and 14-year-olds who won their districts, they also won their sectional play. And they went to the states and took fourth in the state of New Jersey. It's an amazing achievement. I coached baseball for, 10 or 12 years, and I had district teams and all-star teams and had a hard time even getting out of the district. So to those boys, the coaches, the whole program, I really want to say congratulations. The softball, the girls who are in here as well, and our softball program in this town is just so strong. I mean, you look at our high school year after year after year, and our girls are always competitive. I want to just say thank you to all those coaches and congratulations to all the girls. The next thing I want to talk about is something maybe we can do for Erie Street, just completely keeping trucks off of Erie by not letting them turn right on Market or left. And if we don't let them come on to make a left on Erie from Mayhill, that will make those trucks in that route. I mean, I actually spoke to someone in town who kind of came up with that idea, and I think it will work, because if you can keep trucks off of Erie, period, they're not going to turn down that one street, So that may help there. I hope we could do something positive again and work on that. I still coach recreation football in town. I'm the head coach of the senior team, and I enjoy coaching the kids. They're a great bunch of kids, but one thing I want to touch on there is taxes and Veterans Field. Just yesterday I was having practice, and I talked to a lot of parents. You always have parents that are concerned with their kids, and I saw a gentleman come over to the fence. He was kind of waving me over, so I go, all right, be prepared. It's probably a parent who's not happy with something, but he was a total gentleman. Make a long story short, he lives in a house right by Veterans Field. Happens to be my brother-in-law's old house that he grew up in, and I had a really great conversation with the guy. I wanted the guy to really come to the meeting because he had nothing but positive things to say, which is always very good for all of us up here, council and the mayor. He first said that Veterans Field is gorgeous, and he's proud to live there. He's proud to have the lights on and see kids playing and doing positive things instead of hanging out doing destructive things. And that just uplifted me tremendously. The other thing he touched on was our taxes. And he came from another town. And he told me he's very happy to come to Saddlebrook because it is affordable. The housing is affordable and the taxes are reasonable, okay? Nobody wants to pay excessive taxes. I don't, and I don't want to see any resident paying them as well. But they're a necessary evil, and things happen that are out of our control, and that's why rates go up. But I wanted to touch on that because it really lifted me up. The guy was a total gentleman, and he had nothing but praise to say for everyone up here on the council, and I want to share it with you, that we're all doing a good job, and we do work very well together. Besides that, I'm good. Thank you, and I'm going to pass it over.
Just one thing, okay.
Go.
You didn't
Okay.
forget about
Well,
us too, right?
no, I didn't
Okay, I
forget.
thought you were gonna like, it's okay. Anyway, I'd like to thank the former mayor, Lou DiArminio, for those kind words. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. Also, there were another crew of fourth and fifth grade girls softball that actually made the playoffs. They kept playing until they lost. And what happened there was limited field time. And so we had to use Washington School because there were other, rec programs going on. And I'd just like to thank the DPW for coming to their aid because they had that field, which was not, scheduled to be played on, and they had it up and playing. And they, unfortunately, they didn't make the total, they played until they lost, which was last week. But they also did a great job also. Also, like you could tell, they say it's the silly season. I could use other words for it, but whatever. But it's amazing when your opponents come up and they compliment the job you're doing, but yet the people that you think that are going to be in your corner, they're out there bashing you. And all I can say is, speak for all of us, is that, you know what, we try to do our best. We also do. If you think you can do a better job, come up, put your name on, get on the ballot, try it. I've been sitting up here for 16 years. I'm proud. Have we made mistakes or not? We didn't do it purposely, that's for sure. It's a learning process. We have all of our professionals that guide us. And, we just try our best. If you read the Wall Street Journal, there's a beautiful article about Saddlebrook in there. Take the time to do that because there are a lot of positive things going on in this town. And win or lose in November, I'll be here anyway to help you guys anywhere I can. But again, I'm proud to be a resident of our town. And I'm also proud to be part of the 300-year anniversary. And everybody that is part of it has come out, all different ages, all different, organizations have made it what it is. And again, thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Flo. Last but never least.
Sure. Okay. In regard to the three ordinances that we're going to vote on tonight, the first one is the dog and cat, banning the sale of dogs and cats from basically puppy mills. We are following the lead of several other communities. You'll see them in the paper. Don't doubt that we'll be in the paper also. It seems like there's this domino effect of towns following this banning of the puppy mills. The preference is that dogs and cats be obtained through certified breeders because the conditions, as you've seen in the puppy factory in Paramus, and I think they're also in Emerson, and they're in the process of being shut down, the horrific conditions. And I know in my job, we prosecute a lot of SPCA violations, and sometimes it's really disheartening. You also see, when you see kids being injured, I'm sure, the mayor, his position as a policeman, saw that. I also see, in addition to people, you see innocent animals. We've seen horses and dogs and cats just being abused by parents, burned and scalded, left out in the freezing cold, where they're basically their tongues stick to the ice because they have no food or water. So I think that's a positive, and I commend the council for following the lead of some other communities in doing that. Second one, I think, was brought up by Councilwoman Mazur, and that is the ban on solicitation, or no-knock policy. I shouldn't say ban, but a no-knock policy where you can sign up and get on a registry, not to have people come and knock on your door and solicit without your express pretty much invitation to do that. So I think that's a good idea. I fully support that. The third one is something that I brought up along with Councilwoman Darminio and with the full support of the council, and that is to enact a social media policy. More and more we have, everything is being affected by social media. You'll see even in the presidential election, it seems like it's a Twitter war. Every time somebody says something, somebody blurts out this, whatever it is, 180 characters, and it's kind of silly. So we did not have a policy in effect. We may have had a policy in effect in the handbook. It was not codified, so it wasn't the law of Saddlebrook. Now we are going to enact, I would assume it's going to pass, because I think we have the full support of that, and now it's going to be codified. So I commend the council again for doing that. Good news, vets, we've heard today that Veterans Field, they believe the demolition is going to start possibly on Monday, which is a great thing. So that's going to be on its way, and I think the pre-construction meeting, if I read the notes right, there is is it a 7-month, 210-day deadline or for the completion of the project? Is it, Tom, if I may?
I believe it's 210, that sounds.
210, so about 7 months, which brings us into the beginning of, or prior to the next sports cycle. Hopefully, the construction is not going to interfere too much with the fall sports, but we're going to get it done and have to get it done. If we wait until next year, you're going to ruin all the spring sports. So that's a good thing. What we saw on National Night Out was awesome. It feels good to see residents, and you know you're getting older when you see a lot of people and you don't know most of them. It used to be where you came out and you had young kids and everyone knew each other. Now you go there and it's you have to pick and you really have to look for people that you know. But I did mention this last year that we hadn't had it for a while, and I saw in other towns they had it. So I commend the chief and the mayor for bringing it back. And hopefully that will be a yearly event because we had so many people. For those who didn't see it, I think there was a video of it. So check out the station to see what it was. I don't know how long the video is going to be, but we were there for 3 hours, and it was attended. It seemed like it was just wave after wave of people. It was awesome. And I expect the same thing for the Township picnic. Maybe 1,000 people, maybe more. And the people on the committee are doing a great job. It's going to bring back what it used to be years and years and years ago. So again, the people in charge, Karen Flo and the committee, doing a great job on that. We are voting tonight to extend the contract of our grant writer. I initially was a little bit wary about signing off on that because the money brought in versus the money that we're spending, it wasn't overwhelming to me. However, I was advised tonight, and that's why we have these meetings ahead of time and have work sessions, that there's a lot of money in the hopper we haven't received yet, but it's on the way. And I think that next year, we're going to give it a shot again, and I will fully support doing it again. And we'll see what the numbers are next year, but I would think that the numbers are going to be great because we have a couple of $100,000 that we believe we're going to get based on this grant writer who's there. Some of the things that were said, the mayor addressed them, I thought great. We're limited to 2%. We have a 2% cap. Now, as I think, I don't know if it was Joe or the mayor, but we talked about the money. And I know Omar years ago, when he was council president, one of his 4 times, had the pie chart. And he used to say, you know, it's not us, it's them. Well, I'm not going to say it's not us, it's them, because we're all in this together. Board of Ed, Saddlebrook Council, we're all doing what's best in the best interest of Saddlebrook. If you're going to, and he threw out a number of $1,200, and my calculations is if you have, yes, your taxes will go up $1,200 if you have a house that's assessed at $1 million plus. So for those who have a house that is assessed at $1 million, God bless you for having such a nice house. And I apologize for you having to spend another $1,200, but you live in a hell of a nice house, I'm assuming. So the board and the municipal and the county, all of it adds up. But there was criticism when we had a 0% tax increase, and it was said that it was a political ploy. Well, obviously, it was the worst political ploy in history because all three people were proposing that were not voted in. So I don't think it was a political ploy. I think it was nice to have 1 year where you had a respite from tax increase after tax increase after tax increase. Now, let's just do the math. If there was a 1% tax increase, and now we're saying, oh, now it's going to be higher, well, you should have put the money in surplus. Well, it evens out. The money has to come out. The poor planning is a load of garbage. It's not poor planning. Some people think it's poor planning. You don't know what you're going to get. Putting the money aside by raising taxes, eventually you're paying the same amount when you average it out over the years. But you're never going to convince some people. Again, 0% was bad, but the tax increase this year was bad. So which way are you going to have it? Do you want to cut things? But do you want to add another position, which is a full-time assessor? Again, you can't have it both ways. And these 0% tax increase and the tax increases that we've had have been done without the need of furloughs. I mean, years ago, it was just a necessity. We had furloughs. No one wanted that, and especially the people, they were all township residents that worked here, and there were furloughs, and their families were hurt. And I asked everyone there who is running a household, when you talk about, listen, somebody came up and didn't even talk about keeping taxes stable, keeping taxes low. I never promised that. I would never, ever be silly enough to say, as I'm campaigning and knocking on doors, your taxes are going to be lower. Listen, look at your house now from 10 years ago. Are you paying more for your car insurance now? I'm sure you are. Are you paying more for your lease on your car? I'm sure you are. Is your cable bill higher than it is now? Is your car insurance higher? Yes, all of these things in your personal life are going up. We have the same issues here. Most of what we do, almost all of what we do in terms of budget, is contractual. Now, and for those people out there that have a job, people say, well, you should cut and freeze and do this. How many people out there would like not to work for somebody and not get a pay raise at all for 5 or 6 years? You wouldn't work there anymore. We have good workers here. We have great workers here. We want to keep them. It's a negotiated issue. The mayor's in charge of negotiation, and somebody said, and I don't disagree with that point, some of the payouts are very, very high, and in the future, you just can't keep that up. And that's part of the negotiation process. And I'm sure that the mayor will do a good job and bring us back some good contracts for us to review and approve. It was said about taxes going down, and I don't know, maybe there is a town in Bergen County that the taxes have gone down in the last 5 years, but somebody show it to me. I don't think we're any different than any other town. I only care about Saddlebrook. We're trying to keep taxes as stable as possible, and again, the rolling reassessment that we are implementing has been implemented in other towns, and it's been proven to work. And we hope that we are not going to get hit by these commercial tax appeals by doing this. Again, as Joe said, it is proactive. We're not reacting to this. It's proactive. It's a good contract. We all agreed. I mean, you know, when 5 people agree, the mayor, 6, our auditor agrees, our tax assessor agrees. I mean, everybody agrees. Our legal counsel gave an opinion as to it. Everybody agrees that it's a good idea. So, you know, maybe we're all wrong. I doubt it very highly. I think it's a good idea, and I think you're going to see that over the next few years, the number of tax appeals are going to go down. In terms of the Little League, just going back a little bit, they were only 2 wins away from going to Williamsport, which is a great thing, and we talked about it at the work session. We're going to bring them in also and recognize them. They get a little time, you know, their day in the sun over here. With that being said, I wish everyone a happy rest of the summer. It's almost over, and we'll be back in September. I'll see you at the picnic. Thanks.
Thank you, Andrew. We're going to move on to our ordinances.
Ordinance number 1610-16, an ordinance of Saddlebrook banning the sale of dogs and cats from pet shops for second reading.
Motion?
Motion.
Roll call?
Councilman Samaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes.
An ordinance of Saddlebrook banning the sale of dogs and cats from pet shops.
I'll open it to the public.
Motion open the public?
Yes.
I'll make the motion.
Roll call?
Councilman Samaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes. The meeting is now open to the public on this ordinance. Anyone wishing to speak?
Mayor White and council members, my name is Brook, R-O-B-I-K-E, last name is Knoll, N-O-L-L. I'm a resident of Westwood. First of all, I'd like to thank Jen Colgan in your borough offices. You were talking about appreciating borough employees, and I don't usually mention this. I'm actually a part-time land use administrator in Old Pan. I get a little nervous speaking, it's not part of my job. And one of the things that's really, really important to us as employees in town halls is to be appreciated by the mayor and council. So I'm glad to hear you guys speak so highly of your staff, because I frequently have to call as another borough employee, but I don't often get to call as a citizen from another town. And your town was wonderful to communicate with. Dealing with this ordinance, my full-time thing is I'm a travel agent, but my real passion in life is animal rescue. I'm a volunteer with Animal Aid USA. I foster, I place adoptions, and in my spare time, on top of all of that, I visit towns like yours to see if anybody has questions, concerns about this ordinance. I was thrilled to find out that you guys were passing it. Some towns need a lot of information, they have a lot of questions. We were involved in what was going on in Emerson. I'm proud to say he is closed in Emerson. There's 4 locations out of 5 have been closed, and this gentleman, he purchased dogs from the Horrible 100 list that's put out every year from the Humane Society. It's unfortunate, but the USDA regulations say that a breeder dog can live its entire life in a cage this big. They have to have 6 inches over their head, 6 inches on either side. This is a mother who is bred twice a year. Those puppies are taken away from her, spends her whole life in that little cage, and that's what you see in these puppy stores that are in the malls and that you're now banning from your town. So I'd like to thank you very much for this administration. As Councilman, and correct me if I'm wrong, Samaluka?
Yes.
I said it right, okay. This movement is gaining steam across the United States, and especially in New Jersey, where towns like Saddlebrook are now saying enough is enough and demanding humane treatment of animals. You're saying by putting this ordinance in place, number one, that you're going to support Senator Lesniak's S63, which is going to be a statewide. It just went through the legislature. It's got to go to the House next, I guess, and then Governor Christie has to sign it. But until then, each and every town putting this ordinance in place solidifies the fact that we are becoming a very humane nation. We won't stand for abuse, and also protecting residents from the greed and the deception of these pet store owners who source their animals from these unscrupulous commercial breeders. A lot of cases, and I'm sure you read in the paper with what was going on in Paramus and Emerson, a lot of people came forward with very, very sick puppies that they bought from these stores, and they're out the money, that's it. They've had dogs die in their children's arms, they've had just horrible things happen, and this is putting a stop to things like that. You mentioned the towns, and I'll just quickly tell you the ones that just over the past couple of weeks: Woodcliff Lake, Glen Rock, Union City, East Rutherford, Maywood, Hackensack, Wyckoff, Little Ferry, and of course Emerson. And on a county level, Passaic County, Bergen County, Monmouth, Mercer, Camden, Ocean, Middlesex. So we're all doing the right thing town by town, and I'm glad that Saddlebrook joined us in this endeavor. On behalf of all the folks that I've been volunteering with, including Alan Borslow and Janice Fisher and a few others, I just want to thank you again. And Mayor White, next time you're on one of your mayor walks, you can mention to the other mayors how proud you can be that your town did this. And if their town hasn't, maybe you can give them a little push to get it going all the way. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak on this ordinance? Seeing none,
Motion, second.
roll call.
Councilman Samaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, an ordinance of Saddlebrook banning the sale of dogs and cats from pet shops does now pass on second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes.
Ordinance 1611-16 is an ordinance amending Chapter 149, peddling and soliciting of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook for a second reading.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes.
An ordinance amending Chapter 149, peddling and soliciting of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook.
Motion open to the public?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes. This ordinance is now open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak on it?
Motion to
Seeing
close to
none,
the public?
Second.
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Samaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Chapter 149, peddling and soliciting of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook does now pass on second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes.
Council President, may I like to comment on this? I'd like to thank my fellow council people for passing this ordinance. And I'd like to reach out to our residents and ask you to please, don't hesitate to register for this. It's really important, even though the canvases that are in town and the people that are going door to door, they're supposed to be registered, even though they may be. That doesn't mean they have to come to your house. So if you register, there'll be on our website, there'll be a form so you can register, and that you do not want them actually to even come to your house. So it's another level of privacy and also safety. Once again, I'd like to thank you guys for considering it and passing it.
Thank you. Well,
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Ordinance number 1612-16 is an ordinance amending Chapter 29 Personnel Policies of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook for a second reading.
Through the chair, do you want me to read the proposed sentence that we're going to add to it before you do it?
You want to amend it now?
Right?
Sure.
So that
Yeah,
you should
sure.
That's fine.
do it, because you want to get it passed?
yes.
So there would be a new section S, which would state, and if that's okay with everyone, the way I wrote it, any violation of this ordinance shall result in the offenders being subject to the township's policy on employee discipline.
That's fine.
Is that right?
Okay, make a motion.
Need a motion to amend.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion to amend?
To amend.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes.
Okay, motion is in order that we give this ordinance as amended a second reading.
Motion?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes.
An ordinance amending Chapter 29, Personnel Policies of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook as amended.
Motion?
Motion open to the public?
Yes.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Simaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman Diarminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President
Yes.
Camilleri.
This ordinance is now open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak on it? Seeing none?
Motion to close the public?
Second.
Councilman Simaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman Diarminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Chapter 29 Personnel Policies of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook as amended, does now pass on second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Simaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman Diarminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Camilleri. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or member so requests it, in which case the item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. The one motion signifies adoption of all resolutions, receive and file letters, correspondence, reports, and approval of minutes and applications. If the council has no objection, we could make the resolution number 9 for the Bruno Associates. We had it under new business. And resolution number 8 would be voted on separately.
The motion to approve?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Simaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Diarminio?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Camilleri?
Yes.
We have the payment of bill for Stonebrook Garden.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Simaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Abstain?
Councilwoman Diarminio?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Camilleri?
Yes. Okay, we're gonna move along into old business. Any?
I said it during comments.
I've said everything myself. Karen, you good?
I'm good.
Todd?
Oh, good.
I just want to just thank or recognize those teams. The 13, 14-year-old,
Yeah.
those are like the Babe Ruth kids.
Yeah,
that-
it's in between.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a junior league.
Right, that
Yeah,
got
amazing.
involved in the Little League championship. And then there was also, I'm gonna invite them, that team,
Yeah,
the
sure.
13, 14-year-old, to come to the next meeting. And also there was,
The
Well,
fourth
his
and fifth-
granddaughter,
well-
fourth.
Well, she
Yeah.
happened to be part of there.
Yeah.
Well, she was-
well, yeah, that's,
It was the fourth and fifth graders, the girls softball.
right, that made it to, they ended up almost getting to the championship.
Yeah, there's a traveling
But-
team.
But they
Yeah.
were,
Yeah.
a lot of the kids on the team, they were 12-0 in the
Yeah.
travel league,
Yes.
so we're
Yes.
gonna recognize them too.
Awesome.
So, congratulations to them.
Any new business? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, no.
New business?
He has none.
Andrew, you good?
No, he said it.
Okay, I said mine. Hello, Todd, Karen, Bob, any new business, man?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. I just want to open the meeting to the public. I entertain a motion to open the meeting to a public for the agenda items only.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Simaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President
Yes, the
Camilleri.
meeting is now open to the public on the agenda items only. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close.
Motion to close?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes. And lastly, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to close the meeting?
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes.
August 27th, 12 to 5, Township picnic. See you there.